Okay, so trying this again just to see if I can figure this out and if I freeze again. Oh, eat mother fungus. Alright, so I started off correct way this time. And I have it froze. I froze last time at like 9 minutes, I think. So if I get past 9 minutes, it should be alright. Alright. So I probably won't keep these public if I keep screwing up and stuff. So we'll just see how it goes. Alright. So I can see me. I'm the right way. And I don't know how to tell if other people are here or not, but if you're here, thanks for being here. I was mentioning before I got cut off on the other one and before it froze that my tank of rainbow cichlids, I've discovered that hi Melvin, see you found this one here. Streaming is a little bit more difficult than what I thought it would be. You know, it's for some reason I'm more nervous streaming than I was just doing a regular video. I guess because I can't edit out my mistakes. But my rainbow cichlids, one of them is rainbow cichlid, and it appears the other one is a blue acara. I've discovered they're both different species. There's just too many identifiers or traits that were completely different between the two. And getting a little help identifying them. And one is a rainbow and the other one is a blue acara, it looks like. Not the electric blue, the bright blue, it's just a natural blue acara. So, what to do there? Because I originally got those to see if I could end up with a male and female and breed them, but I don't want to breed a blue acara into a rainbow. And I might have to rehome those. Over here that decided to kill his mate, so I might have to rehome that one. And looking at my rainbow, looks like the rainbow and the acara aren't getting along so well. The rainbow's got some battle wounds, so the acara and the rainbow may have been duking it out a little bit, so I might have to separate them in the meantime. Everybody else down here is doing alright. Red Empress. I believe I've got a male and 2 females. So that may turn out to be alright. And my moles, they're doing okay, but out of my 5 I can only find 4, so I don't know if one keeps hidden in the shells, if that's what they do when they breed, or if it's just hiding out pretty good, or if they've killed each other or something. But yeah. Alright, how far have we made it into this one? 4 minutes. Alright, so about halfway there before I froze up last time. So I'm going to try to get to that point and just kind of ramble on to see what happens at the probably 10-minute mark. What else to talk about? So I guess I need to look at upgrading or redoing my air system. I've got everything running off of one air pump. Well, I moved the 55 onto a separate one, and it did a world of wonders differently on it. It wasn't my filters messing up, it was not getting enough pressure from the pump. And then all my other filters kicked in and started doing quite a bit better when I did that. So I'm thinking it's not getting enough pressure to any of the tanks when I run all the tanks on that system. And I need to get PVC up here probably, and run a loop of PVC around the top, and do that like other fish rooms I've seen, and maybe try my current pump with that type of setup. That maybe that will get better pressure, because right now I've got a manifold right next to the pump that it divides it off into airline tubing, and I think that's restricting my flow quite a bit. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna get me a more powerful air pump. And I really need to get a second pump anyways, just for a backup, because if this one burns out or dies for some reason, this is the only pump I've got that would run even half of what I've got. And it'd be a shame to lose my air power to the whole fish room. So that's on my to-do list. But usually when I get off work, I come down here and check on everybody, feed everybody, and I'm sure my fish have the days and the nights all screwed up because sun's not up, and I come down, turn the lights on, and feed everybody. Slow and steady, my fish room's coming together. Yes. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to read the chats here. Yeah, I keep ending up buying used tanks and $1 per gallon tanks and piecing it together little by little and finding fish that I can get a deal on, or I just can't pass up. And I had completely forgotten about time zones. So, it's probably like, what? Is it like early morning over in, like, Australia? Is that where you're at, Dub? Australia? So, people's actually awake there. I was thinking, testing it out at 5 a.m., nobody's going to be up to, see me goof up and mess up. But, I guess I watch streams at 4 and 5 a.m. So, what do I have planned for covering my walls? Well, right now, I get by with what I can get my hands on and what I have available until I can save up money to do better. This tarp curtain looking thing that's up there, it is it's what's left of a carport cover. So the people had like a metal frame and then had this plastic canvas or plastic tarp type thing over the top of it to park the car under. And it ripped on them, so they were throwing it away. And I was helping move some stuff for them, and I saw it and didn't realize it was as large as it was. Thought it was just a standard tarp, and asked them if I could have it out of the trash. So I'm kind of dumpster diving there. But when I got it, it was large enough to cover as if it was a whole garage. And it having a small hole in it didn't matter to me. So in the middle, so it wasn't like a house anymore. And I was able to wrap this whole section, and it's probably, looking at it now, maybe 10 foot by 10 foot section. So I was able to wrap this whole section, that wall over there for the exterior wall. Wrap the whole area, in it, and it's just stapled to the floor joist above me. My thought was use it like a tent to keep heat in here, and I've got a electric oil radiator style heater over here to the side, and just with this curtain up and this heater here, it keeps it about 10 degrees warmer in this little room than it does the rest of my basement. So my plans are to insulate the floor joist up here and to do some sort of insulation around the outside wall, or where my tarp is now. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do like the foam board or actually put studs up and do like the fiberglass batting stuff. I'm thinking I'll do something kind of temporary to insulate it, so that as I get more tanks and I need to go that way or that way or that way, I can move the wall and reuse the insulation further out. But yeah, just getting by with what I got, saving up money to get other things, and using used tanks, used filters, whatever I can get my hands on. Make the lids out of that clear corrugated plastic roofing material. Much DIY as I can. And that's an idea I have for some videos, is, you know, maybe make a tank, set up a tank on as low a budget as I possibly can. You know, most of my substrates in here, like this tank here, is full filter sand. My shrimp is on blasting sand. I have secondhand gravel over here in this tank. From the size of it, it looks to be a pea pebble, like a landscaping pea pebble. And that's what I have in my 55, and a couple of the other 20s over here is the pea pebble I get from the home improvement store. I have another tank that has gravel that was given to me. And I'm really debating, I've got a bunch more of this gravel that's in this bucket here, and I'm debating on using it. I don't know how to show you what it is, but you see it there? Bright pink. It's not my favorite color, but freeze free. So I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if I'll use it or not. I know a lot of people do bare bottom tanks. I just like to have a substrate in the bottom of my tanks if I wanted to put plants in it. And some of the fish like to move the substrate around. Good news, I didn't freeze it 9 minutes this time. But yeah, just get by with what I can get by with and upgrade it as I go. And that was part of my thing going into the hobby this time around. You know, I've kept fish for as long as I can remember, but restarting it this time, I didn't want to break the bank and all kinds of debt for the fish and for the hobby. And I can get a lot of used stuff and repurpose stuff. Like I can dig this tarp thing out of a trash and use it, but some stuff I can't do that with. Like I can't dig fish out of the trash and reuse them. And I have, do I have any bare bottom tanks right now? My bare bottom tank is almost bare bottom. It's got gravel on one side. And you know, I just like the look. And I think I've decided I'm going to try to do more aquascaping stuff, because I see the fish hobby as not only collecting the fish, because this is what my fish room is going to be, is a collection. Kind of like Pokemon, collect them all. But gonna have different types of fish, but also it's a form of art. And I'm no artist, but it's relaxing to look at the fish and the decorations and scapes. And if I just do a bare bottom tank with a plain black background and just a single brick in it or something, it's not as appealing to the eye, and I think it doesn't do everything that a tank should. And yeah, keeping the tanks keeping stable with bare bottom, I can see that being an issue. I can see the substrate building more of a bacteria bed and more of the deteriorous. Well, now I can't even say that word. Deteriorous, whatever that stuff is, getting down in the substrate and kind of stabilizing down in there. And the fish are all mad at me right now because I've come down here, I've turned the lights on, got them all awake, and there's no food coming in the tank. I'm halfway wondering if that rainbow is a female. The fins are tore up pretty good on it right now. Like I said, think it's been fighting with the blue acara, but it looks pretty fat, so it may actually be getting eggs, or maybe they've just been fighting over food. I don't know. Speaking of that, I'm gonna grab some food and drop some in real quick. And currently I feed a few different things down here. Mainly, I'm feeding the Tetracolor Tropical Granules, and when I did my review of them, I wasn't too impressed with it. I couldn't get everything to eat it. Now they're warmed up to it and eating it more. My Maltese still aren't eating it. Convict fry aren't. So I still keep some flake around. This is some Tetra Tropical Flake. And I've just used little containers around the house. I've got different tanks all over the place. So I get the larger containers like this, and then just pour it into smaller containers to feed around the house, the different tanks, so that I don't buy one of these for each area and have them go bad before I use them. I probably use them before they went bad, but I don't want to risk it. So I give everybody the tropical granules. I can give the fry and the Maltese the flakes. And if there's any that I think would want some flakes. And then I've got some bristlenose over here in my 55 that I give some algae wafers to. I was about to forget the new fish. And you have to pause and look at your fish when you're feeding them and stuff, cleaning the tanks. But that's another thing, what it's all about. Dub says he uses Sarah granules, flue ball, sinking pellets, bloodworms, and cheap flake. Yeah, the cheap flake is why I've got the Tetra. It was the cheapest I could find, and I have on my list to get more meaty foods, bloodworms and maybe some brine shrimp and that type of stuff, because I think a lot of my fish would like that, but I just haven't got around to doing it yet. Working the schedule that I work, I'll go in about 2 o'clock in the day and get home 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So it makes it difficult to go to a pet store or somewhere where they actually sell fish food more than anything. So most of my fish food I've been ordering, and I just haven't got up to ordering like the more meaty foods, the frozen foods, and all that. It's something in my mind, just shipping frozen stuff just seems weird. I guess I'm kind of scared that it won't make it here, it'll spoil or something. I don't know. But I mean, it wasn't an issue when I had my store. Everything was shipped to me, and it came in frozen. So I don't know why shipping it to my house would have been any different than shipping it to the store that I had. Yeah, I think since the only rainbow cichlids I've ever seen was at this one store, and that's where I picked these up and thinking they were both rainbow cichlids. I think I will probably going to have to separate those two, get the fins and stuff looking better, and then rehome at least the rainbow cichlid. The blue acara looks alright. I could probably find some more of those. Probably rehome the rainbow. Rehome this convict down here that killed his mate. Because I have 3 convicts in here and they've bred for me. I'm not sure which 2 are breeding, or if they're doing some wild three-way breeding thing. But I've got these. I've got a tank full of convict fry, so I'm good on convicts. I'll probably rehome the rainbow cichlid, maybe the acara, I don't know. And that male convict there. My jewels are doing alright. I wish they would decide to breed. Wish the Maltese would decide to breed. And if my cribs would ever get big enough that they would start doing it, I think that they would be pumping out babies pretty good. My fry that I had on those cribs, every time I look at them, it seems like they've grown more and more. So I don't think it'll be long, because they're getting to where they're almost looking the size of an adult. But I'm going to do something different with my 55. I haven't decided what I'm doing. And that may be where the red empresses go. Or I may throw them in the 75. But I could pull the black mollies out. Stick the black mollies here. If I get rid of these up here, I could put my cribs in there. And I've got, put my cribs down here. Put my cories up there. I've got 6 cories, all the same species. I'd like to try to breed them. Put them in that tank. I'm running out of tanks doing that. Got one over here that's empty. I could use that one. Means I'm going to get more tanks. Well, I think the basics of streaming I've kind of figured out as far as getting it up and going. Yeah, I could have the whole basement full of tanks. I've already got an eye on my garage for fish room number 2. But I haven't even got, a quarter of my basement with tanks in it. So, but my garage has a, I guess you'd say like a workshop. It's got a room off the back of the garage. And I've been looking at that because it has a water heater in there, so that's access to hot and cold water. It doesn't have a drain, but it's above ground, so it'd be easy to put a drain in. So, that potential one day in the future, maybe fish room number 2. I got a lot of work to do down here first, and hopefully, one of the first things on my list will be to get a heat system, like get it insulated down here so that I can use this heater or tap into the house's heat or something, so I don't have to have heaters in every tank, because that can cause quite a bit of issues with if they all kick on at once, be too much pull in that circuit, or if the heater goes bad and won't turn off or won't turn on, then you have there. Whereas if I have the room heated, I don't have to worry about those problems. So that's one of the top things. And I've got extension cords ran all over because there's only one plug in my entire basement. So running electric down here, well, extending the electric so that there's more than one plug is on my list too. I know I said I wanted to get rid of that male convict, but just watching him dig on the substrate is pretty entertaining. I don't get to see these guys do that much, and it may be because of the substrate they're on there. They're on Eco Complete, which really isn't ideal for them. That's a good planting substrate, but I can't have plants with convicts. They dig it up. Got my cherry shrimp in here with some, what are those things called? Not turbo snails, that's saltwater. Trumpet snails. Malaysian trumpet snails. And I need to add some fish to it. I know a lot of people run just shrimp tanks, but I think I need to get some small fish to put in there, maybe some guppies or endlers or something, just to help with the whole system. Forgot about my bristlenose. That's one of the things that I started this whole thing for. Started this whole fish room for, was try to breed bristlenose. Huh. Maybe I could do a tank with some guppies, some bristlenose, shrimp, different stuff that I think could all breed in the same tank, and see how many different species I could get to cohabitate and breed in one tank. Maybe that's what I need to do with the 55. I haven't had much luck with guppies though. I don't know if it's my source or if it's my water here, what the issue is. I tried different tanks in different places in the house, different filtration systems. It's been tanks that have been set up for months and tanks that are brand new. Well, looks like Mason decided to join us. I'm just testing the stream thing out here. Well, Mason, you say I do this when you have to work? I do this when you have to work. You always do it when I have to work. I work all the time. Mason says he can't help that he's on the Wee Woo Patrol. Now that cracks me up. He texted me one day that he was going to be on the Wee Woo, and it took me probably half an hour to figure out what Wee Woo was. Alright, let's see, what Dub say? That's an experiment you should try. It could show that some things could live together. That some things could live peaceful with. Yeah, and that's part of my whole thing with the whole fish hobby, at least this time around, is breeding stuff. I want to breed a bunch of different stuff. And I've got breed, and hopefully I can get it to happen again. It's going to be a different set. I've got the convicts to breed. I've had live bears breed before, but for some reason now they don't want to. Got the Maltese. It would be cool if they breed. And I may just have to get more meaty foods for them. They might still need to put some size on. But if I can get, shrimp and throw some mystery snails in there. I've had mystery snails lay a couple clutches of eggs in a previous tank before it decided to go all haywire and everything in the tank died. And I've had, for years I've had an interest with cherry barbs. So I've got a tank with 2 pairs of cherry barbs up here that I know I don't have enough cover in there for any type of fried eggs for them. But they're on my list. And now that I have the Red Empresses, people say they're easy to breed. And once that male colors up, he will look pretty good. I don't know, I've been talking to some people about them, and maybe I alright, thanks for stopping by, Mason. I might do some more streams one day. I wasn't planning on going this long, just to try to see if I could figure out how to do it. But I froze on my first one. I don't know if I lost signal or what, but I did freeze on the first one. And I was sideways, or upside down or something. But I hadn't planned on getting haps. I didn't realize they were haps. All I knew is they were cichlids. But when they color up, when the male colors up, I think they're going to look nice. What time are you collaborating Saturday, Mason? I do have some plans Saturday. But I may move those Red Empress to the 75, and talking with some other people after Jeff Rose. Ooh, what time is Jeff Rose going Saturday? And we'll be done with the meeting by then. Talking with some different people about the Red Empresses. They said suggested at least a 100-gallon tank for that, so I might be looking for a bigger tank. And I think they're okay in this little tank here. I'm using for quarantine for now, and then either move them to the 55 or the 75 and as they grow. And if I decide to keep them long term and get more haps or peacocks or something to go with them, maybe looking at a larger tank. But I'm not the type to go buy a new 125. I don't want to pay those prices when a used tank usually will do just as good. This one didn't do just as good. This one poured water all over the floor when I started filling it up. That's why you should leak test outside. But I had it up to here before I realized it wasn't going to hold water out of the bottom seam. So I'm debating on resealing it or just flipping it back out as a reptile tank. I've got other reptile supplies that I can throw with it that would fit it, and like this cave that I used for convicts before, it floats. So it's a reptile cave. I can put that with it and a screen top and probably get my money back out of it, and then go buy a tank that holds water. That's how I got the 55 over here. If you haven't heard that story, I had a 10-gallon tank that wouldn't hold water, and a screen lid, and a heat, and a few little reptile things, and sold that 10-gallon tank that wouldn't hold water and the stuff that I wasn't going to use. I think I sold it for like 30 bucks, and bought that tank over there for right about $30. So in my mind, I got that tank for free because I sold stuff that I wouldn't use to get the money to buy something I would use. So I went from something that was useless to something that and wasn't out any money, just a little time. So to me, that's free. And being patient on the tanks, I know I'm showing up with tanks left and right, seems like. Being patient on getting used tanks is part of the key, because there might not be anything available today, but in a month somebody might show up with well, I saw listed on Facebook, I didn't see it in time, but somebody had a 125 gallon tank with the stand and filter and everything, that they basically said they'd trade to a 6-pack that they were moving, couldn't take it with them, didn't know what to do with it, and they said, come get it and bring a 6-pack over and you can have it. Well, that was gone pretty quickly, but if you keep your eye out, you can find stuff like that, you know, here and there. I got one little sparkling Grommy over there that I may look at getting some friends for and trying my hand at breeding those. I just think they're cool little fish, and it's the story behind them that makes me think they're cool. When I had the pet store, I would order my standard fish that I'd order my standard fish that I always got every time, and then I would order maybe 5 fish that I didn't recognize the name of or had never dealt with, and put those out to see what kind of market we had for them. And so I decided this week I'd order this fish listed under Grommies called a sparkling Grommy. I was expecting something the size of like a 3-spot Grommy to come in, and I got all these little bitty, tiny little nano fish because I didn't know what they were at the time. But they were pretty popular, so it got me interested in them. All right, Mason, be careful, and we'll talk later about the collab and stuff. I don't know that I'll be able to do it, but we'll see what I got going on and stuff. Dub says it took a while to find some tanks. Went to the neighbor for free items. Back shed was a 2-foot metal frame tank just sitting there. Yeah. My oddest find on a tank years ago, I was out just hiking through the woods, and off in the trees there was a 10-gallon tank sitting there just in the leaf litter. Looks like it had been there a while, and picked it up, dumped the dirt and the leaf litter and stuff out of it, and carried it back home. It held water, and I kept it for I guess I kept it for like 3 years. It was one of the ones that I lost in the house fire. Let's see, ended up with 5 2-foot tanks and only one headed crack. Well, that's pretty good, you know. You never know what you're getting with used tanks. You know, they could be cracked, they could be bad seams. Let's see, this tank here, the guy told me it was on Craigslist, I think, and they said they thought it was a 5-gallon tank, and he said he'd take $5 for it. Part of my thing usually is I ask for dimensions, but they had a picture of the tank, and I could tell just from what surroundings it had, it was bigger than 5 gallons. And they had a picture of them with a tape measure across it, and let's see, it was one of the ways, and I could tell it might have been across this side, and I saw that it was a foot long, so I knew it wasn't a 5-gallon, and was pretty sure it was bigger than a 10-gallon. So for $5, even if it didn't hold water, I knew that I could make my money back on it. So I went and got it, and it was a 20 high, and the guy told me that it had goldfish in it, and on the back rim back there, it's melted a little bit, and he said that was from the heater melting it. So I knew right there, you know, people around here in this climate here, we usually don't keep goldfish in heated tanks. So I knew he had probably done some stuff to the tank that probably wasn't the best for it. And then he said all his fish died, but I didn't have to worry about it because he cleaned it really good and used some pretty good chemicals to clean it with. And he named some of the chemicals, and they were some strong stuff. So I was afraid at first to put anything in this tank that who knows if the chemicals, cleaning agents, had seeped into the silicone and leached back out. Alright, we've been going for 42 minutes. Alright, so I'll go to 45 minutes here and then get off here. Having a good time, but a person's got to sleep sometime, I guess. I would stay up 24/7 if I could. But I just wanted to do this as a trial, a test to see if I could figure out how to get this thing to stream. If it would stream more than a couple minutes, and I think we've done all right. Using my other phone for chat seems to work all right. I'll have to figure out a better configuration, but I had fun doing this, so I may do some more in the future. I can't set a schedule for it or anything because I never know when I'm getting off work and when I'll have time to actually come do it. But here and there I might drop a stream. Let's see, you say I like to see what others have set up around, and there goes the chat on that one, so let's see on this one. I like to see what others have set up around the world. This was great. Yeah, and that's the awesome thing about technology now in YouTube, that I can see what someone in Asia or Australia or Europe or South America is doing and give me ideas, because what's happening there or here, there or somewhere else may not be what's the trend right now here. And share ideas and share whatever and have a worldwide fish club. The more I sit down here, the more ideas I get about how to change stuff up. So, yeah. Alright, so thanks everybody for stopping by and just hanging out for a minute. good thing to know notifications were working and got notifications out to some people. And I'll try this again sometime. Is it Johan Aquatics? Is that how you pronounce that? I'm actually fixing to end it here. Just trying to do a Johan, that's what I was thinking. And I was trying to just figure out how to do a live stream. The first one I did, I froze up. I was all sideways and upside down and all this stuff. So it's tucked away in the catacombs, not to be seen again. But this one I've been going for 45 minutes, and it seems like I've kind of figured out how to at least get the basics of getting me out there and being able to look at chat here. So, thanks again everybody for stopping in, and maybe I'll get some ideas of what to do for another live stream sometime, and when I get home a little early and can have a few minutes to come down here and do a live stream, I can have something to talk about instead of just stumbling over my words. But it was fun, talking back and forth, and I guess I'll see y'all later in somebody else's stream or on a video or something. I'm supposed to have a video coming out on Thursday, aren't I? Should have thought about that before now. I'm going to try to do live streams. That's one of my resolutions for this year, is to do live streams. But my work schedule keeps me from doing any type of regularly scheduled type thing. So it might be a hit and miss here or there. It'll probably be this time of the night or day or morning or whatever this is. Or an odd weekend or something. I don't know. But it is, what time is it here? Almost 15 after 6. And so, yeah, I should probably get to bed before the kids have to get up to go to school. Alright, so, I hate saying goodbye. But, we'll see y'all later. And, so I got the thing started, now I gotta figure out how to get it to stop, right? Alright, we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Do I want to stop?